sitting, but had it passed. Or
yeah, it really gets.
Good call.
Like actually on the board.
So obviously there would be some fund sources coming from the license fees, but how much of that, how high can we make that for people to do it? And when you already have other licensure requirements or certification requirements.
And really, I mean, it comes out to, and the sad thing about it though is like if the insurance company requires it to bill for the services now that we have the code, then you almost get like bullied into paying whatever.
Right, and the other issue is what are they going to, what's going to be written into that bill? So those are things that
we got some arriving. Yeah, there's stuff around there. So
we're occupancy really pushed on. And there's some that have gone through that have had really big errors in the bills.
And some of them, because I think we're in like 15 states now have it. Some of them, the governing board is like within psychology, which makes me a little nervous because I want them to decide what we can and can't do.
Right, and that's an issue in Kentucky, for instance. Right, they completely shut down TCSPP for a couple weeks before we were able to get that overturned.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, that'd be great. We have all the shop fixes right here, and his rider's Indiana.
Wonderful.
And yeah, in terms of job posts too, so I know that you guys have her information, and we also live on the board that's primarily staff impacted by our student alumni. So I can give you my card. That'd be great, because I do all the job posts for us. So. It's nice. They're little long, shield and all that stuff. So I can, perfect. And I can actually, let me write the name of the website on there. All right. Perfect. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're very excited today to have BACA with us. We're fortunate to have Amy and Stacy with us. We'll talk a little bit about a number of resources that they provide in terms of services to populations they're working with, but also some of the ways that maybe our students can connect with employment opportunities. Thank you so much for joining us. For those of you who are online or on the phone, please know that you can use the chat box for questions. We'll go ahead and mute you on this one, but feel free to use the chat box to let me know that you want to be unmuted, and I'll take care of that. So with that.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. And yes, please do put in as many questions as you want. I'd be more than happy to answer them as we go along. Obviously, I'm here to speak about BACA in particular, but a couple things that I want to convey is as you're looking for practicum sites and supervision hours, as well as your employment opportunities, is to find ways where you can continue learning and where you can connect yourself as a learner with other leaders in the field. And so whether or not we deal with children with autism and young adults with autism, but whether you're going into the OBM field or traumatic brain injury, whatever it is, I think some of the things that we talk about would transcend across that, as well as we'll talk about a whole lot of programs. One of our goals is kind of a continuum of care, so no matter what the needs are, trying to fulfill those needs for particular individuals. So as we do that, you'll hear about a lot of different programs, so that might give you something to look for also when you're out into the community and looking for your employment opportunity, is to find ones that have some of the programs that we're going to talk about. So what I'd like to start today with is a little video. This is a video that was shot for In Focus. It's a PBS show hosted by Martin Sheen. They came to visit us and taped for us. So this is a little bit of an overview. It does go into a little bit of the basics of autism, which I'm sure you're aware of, but does tell you a lot about autism.
Immeasurable, immeasurable. You cannot understand those around you. Try as you may, you cannot understand being there. Now try to imagine that feeling as a child. You have some idea of the struggles faced by the 1 in 88 children in America who are suffer from autism. Autism is a neurological disorder that develops in a severe disruption of the nervous system. Imagine for a moment being trapped in a world where you cannot understand those around you. Try as you may, they cannot understand you either. Now try to imagine that feeling as a child. You have some idea of the struggles faced by the 1 in 88 children in America who are suffering from autism. Autism is a neurological disorder that develops in a severe disruption of the normal developmental process and causes children to fall apart and hard behind their peers as they grow older. It occurs in the first 2 years of life and it impairs language, social skills, capability, cognitive function, and basic learning. Children with autism don't learn the same way as people that try to. While there's still much to learn about this condition, one thing that all researchers and educators agree on is that early intervention is the key to children with autism overcoming the worst of the symptoms and achieving their maximum potential.
Early intervention is critical for children with a diagnosis of autism, and that's because typically developing kids are entering school already with a really good skill set in speech and language as well as with learning areas. And so if a child with autism doesn't have those skills, the gap just gets wider and wider. So we need to work quickly and we need to work effectively in order to narrow that gap even as small as possible because it'll just get harder as we get older.
One of the most effective and proven interventions is the use of applied behavior analysis, or ABA, as practiced by the Behavior Analysis Center for Autism. Every introductory psychology book is used in the college system in the United States is a chapter on learning. And in that learning chapter, it always covers the work of B.F. Skinner, right now, psychology, science, and energy. The application of that science became early known as behavior modification. That's now called applied behavior analysis. And it's those concepts and principles and techniques that have had an incredible impact on teaching children who have difficulty learning skills. The staff of developmental specialists at the center realizes that while educators recognize the value of Skinner's work in behavior, they are not always sure of the best ways to apply the techniques for the child with autism. Many people have the impression that ABA is a specific set of procedures that generally involve young children sitting at a table answering questions, and that based on their answers, the children either receive rewards or reinforcement or not. And they don't see it as applying to other aspects of people's lives. And it very much does. It applies to all different types of skills that you might teach somebody out in the community as well as sitting at a table, and it applies to individuals of all. Educators, parents, and children alike applaud the work being done by behavior analysis for autism and feelings of autism.
Many things bring many values to us. Firstly, help us how to implement these behaviors. When we had consistency across learning school, that was really valuable. Having a fresh set of eyes, looking at what was going on in the common and how we were responding, looking at
In 1999, the Surgeon General of the United States declared that intense ABA is an effective treatment for children with autism. Yet today, it is a practice that is still not widely used, even in special education classes. We've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. Every person with autism has the right to most effective behavioral treatment. However, treatment often denied by behavior institutions. We don't have a good understanding of what behavior analysis is. In BACA, we brought in a big team of PhD behavior analysts from around the country. And it's our goal to take everything that we know about behavior analysis treatment and promote it until it's given. And every child with autism or other developmental disabilities use it for effective Since 2009, the Behavior Analysis Center for Autism has been helping children with autism and their families cope with this often mystifying condition. Some of that has extension of the analysis of behavioral treatment of children with autism. And BACA represents through a proprietary program of advanced applied behavior analysis, Dr. Sundberg and entire staff are dedicated to seeing every child with autism achieve his or her maximum potential. The biggest challenge is that I believe that special education teachers have special set of skills is required to work with children with autism. And those skills come from, I believe, the field of behavioral psychology, learning the procedures of prompting, safety, reinforcement. There are difficult procedures to learn, and most college programs do not prepare special education teachers with those kinds of skills. It's not part of the curriculum in these programs in the United States. You just have to learn them on the job or other kinds of consulting. BACA has contributed to that by providing training programs, by providing various kinds of workshops for teachers, and also for advancing materials, like technology, to impart this information to teachers. BACA creates an enriched environment specific to the special language acquisition needs of each child with autism. However, the professionals understand that autism education must occur beyond the classroom. Users with children always natural settings that children will be expected to respond to later as adults, use with adults, functional daily living skills. There's all sorts of applications of behavior analysis, and if it's done properly, it results in learners who are very skillful and not precisely aligned.
Dr. Sundberg and all the PhDs that work with our kids, down to the therapists that are frontline working with our kids, that are dedicated to our kids and embrace them and love them and want to help and will go over and over to do that.
If you or someone you know has a child with developmental difficulty or has been diagnosed with autism and you would like to learn more, please visit us at www.thebaca.com.
The Behavior Analysis Center for Autism, otherwise known as BACA, was created by Dr. Carl Sundberg. He owns and operates all of our centers. And our job is to find young professionals and professionals new to the field that might want to join our team and be connected to other leaders in the field. So we obviously take the principles of behavior analysis, and our main focus are using assessments, the BBMAP, which was written by Dr. Mark Sundberg, and Essentials for Living, which was written by Dr. Pat McGreevy and Troy Fry. These are some of the PhD people that we have associated with us that come to see us on a regular basis. And our goal is to make sure that every kiddo that comes through our door, we can do the best that we can. And if that means reaching out to others, that's what we do. We started at BACA 1 as our first facility, and we had obviously some success of moving some kiddos out into less restrictive environments and mainstreaming them. But some of those kiddos got older and still required some intensive services. So we landed up opening a building 4 miles away, which is our BACA Prep facility, which serves our kiddos ages 6 to 21. BACA Heart fulfills a need in the South Bend, Elkhart area near Notre Dame. And our BACA Zionsville location was the first location that we built. And these came about by families. We had families in the Elkhart area that were coming down and living in Indianapolis Monday through Friday to access our services and then going home on the weekends. And we were able to find a niche of families that were interested in services in that area, so we were able to open up a center there and fulfill a void. Same with Zionsville, not too far out of Indianapolis, but about a 30 to 35-minute drive, and we had a whole group of families that were driving from Zionsville into our Fishers location. So to fulfill that need, we opened a center there as well. The setup of all the buildings is similar. So the BACA structure, we feel is critical. So our senior behavior analyst includes the whole team. and that's all of our PhDs. And then in each of our buildings, we have a clinical director, and this is a BCBA level person who's been with us for years, and they have quite a bit of input on the clinical program. So they're sitting in on those PhD consults. They are doing case reviews with the team supervisor BCBAs, and they're helping make sure that they're accessible to the BCBAs as a clinical resource on site when some of our PhDs are not. We do have OT and speech on site as well. We have 2 of each of those that serve our buildings. Our team supervisors are BCBA, so they have a caseload of up to 10 kids, and then they would have 10 behavior techs to serve them. We are staffed one-on-one. They also receive a training specialist, and this training specialist is assigned to that team, and they've got a dual role. One, taking the new staff that we hire, the new behavior techs, and training them on their initial training and getting them up to speed. But the goal is to retain those team therapists ongoing. So we need to take our good therapists and make them great. Because if we can, then they have a path to grow within the company. So we have our behavior technicians and a team therapist. That allows all of our behavior techs to learn a little bit more about programming. So they've really become better behavior techs if they understand where they came from and where they're going. And through program development and program writing, we can start to teach those skills and make them be able to be better on their feet while they're doing therapy. They can analyze the situation a little bit better, and they're not doing just what they're told. They have the understanding behind it. And then we obviously have to put a float in there because there's always staff absence. So we have that built in as well. So I'm going to go through a handful of slides. These are the PhDs that are associated with our center. Dr. Carl Sundberg owns and operates our building, and he received his PhD from Western Michigan under Dr. Jack Michael. He's taught multiple graduate classes and has multiple publications. So with his 30 years experience, he is at our helm. Dr. Mark Sundberg, and yes, they are brothers, received his doctorate also from Western Michigan under Jack Michael, and he presents all over the place. So he's an international speaker, has countless publications, and is the author of the BB map. So we were able to pilot that when he was working on it. We continue to do things. Right now we're working on a play in social skills, which would be kind of like the supplement of the interverbal one that he has out as well. So he comes to our center 2 to 3 times a year for a couple days and helps us work kind of on the systems and making sure we're doing that. Dr. Pat McGreevy, he is from Kansas, so the University of Kansas. He studied under Dr. Ogden Lindsay, who directly studied under Skinner. So we kind of have a joke of, you know, the 7 steps to, not Kevin Costner, Kevin Bacon, there we go. That how far away are we removed from Skinner? How far away are we removed from Jack Michael? And it helps us stay true to the science, and it gives us access to these people. So whether you come to BACA or not, these are people that you should be looking up their research. You should really be looking up their work because they really are leaders in our field. He is the first author of Essentials for Living, which really focuses on some of those functional living skills across the board. And for those of you who have seen the first version and thought it was a little difficult to navigate, there is a new version out, which is a little bit more simple. Troy Fry is the second author on Essentials for Living, and he is new to our team. And he is coming to us 3 days every month to get us up to speed and make sure we've been using Essentials for Living. Dr. Pat McGreevy has been preaching to us about the Essential 8 for years, but it's difficult to get up and rolling with a new assessment and new programming and such. So he's there to make sure we're on the right track. Dr. Peter Gerhardt received his doctorate from Rutgers University. He really focuses on the work or the school-to-work transition, as well as some of the living situation transition. So some more independent or assisted living situations. So he focuses on the older kiddos. I can't get him to come to my little kids building because he likes the bigger kiddos. So he's been a great addition to our team. He's with us 2 days, 4 times a year. Dr. John Esch, he's also from Western Michigan, and he's with us 3 days every other month. And he's one of those people that's really easy for us because we can give him just about anybody and he can work wonders for us. So we're excited to have him. Treatment integrity is his baby, so he's looked good with in his program. Dr. Barb Esch, she is also from Western Michigan. She's also a speech pathologist, so she adds kind of a unique twist to some of our situations and can really come in and look at some of those situations. And she's really mentored our speech path to make sure that we're looking at that from a behavioral perspective. She's also the author of the section of the VB map of the early echoic scale. She is the founder and current chairperson of the Speech Pathology Special Interest Group at ABAI. Bob Ryan is with us 30 hours a week, so he's one of our local folks that gets to spend a lot of time with us. He's from FIT. He's also worked with Dr. Vincent Carbone, and he's also worked at the Jericho School. And he continues to be a co-instructor for the FIT ABA online programming. He works a lot with our staff on precision teaching, direct instruction, and FPA. BACA has just entered in a new program with FIT for some of our staff on the behavior tech level, where FIT now offers a hybrid program where you can do 1 year online and your second year of your master's program in person. So we have started that and are looking forward to our FIT professor to be on site January 2015, which really gives a stepping stone for some of our behavior techs that we have sold into the profession that came, to work with kids and get warm fuzzies in that, are now understanding it as a career goal and can continue on with that. Dr. Janae Hall is from Western Michigan and worked with Dr. Jack Michael as well, but she received her doctorate from West Virginia University. She's worked in California at the May Institute, and she is widely published. She is our director of research, so this is something that took us a few years to get going, but is a huge component of what BACA is. And we need to take the things that we see working on the clinical floor and make sure that we can put the science behind it and the research behind it and prove that it's working. Obviously, in addition to that, some versions of old research studies that need to be reworked a little bit. We're also working on an outcome study for the VB map, and so she leads our research team in that regard. So this is our gang. We rarely get them all with us at the same time, so this was a great moment in time. Ken Johnson is also in this one. He's from Morningside Academy out of Washington. Him and his team have come out to see us a few times and really help us in some of those school prep skills to make sure that we're not missing those pieces as we're going to transition our people out. So this is what we talk about our leaders. We took the leaders in the field that all have their specialty, and we make them accessible to our staff who are our learners, because we always talk about that learning is never done. There's always more to learn. And so that's kind of our method. And these are a handful of our programs that we have. We have our BACA Atlas program, which is our intensive therapy clinic. This helps us serve people from around the world who are not local to us. So these are people that might not have ABA services in their local area, or it may be a BCBA who's overseeing a case and that kiddo plateaus, or we can't figure out why we can't get MANs, or we can't extinguish some maladaptive behavior. Whatever the situation may be, they can come to the clinic and receive some intensive services. With this model, we not only do the assessment and the program writing, we work on training the team that comes to us. So if it's a family, if they come with their speech path, if they come with their frontline therapists, their teachers, whoever they come with, our goal is to get that kiddo up and running and get that team trained and ready to go and continue that program when they come home. So the great thing about this program, it's one of our newest programs, is everyone who's come has stayed in continued contact with us. So we're providing assistance via Skype, as well as some families that have come back for a second trip. So we feel good about the quality of service that we've been able to get them. And our families come anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months. And we've had families from New York, Canada, Australia, multiple from Australia, and Serbia. So we're excited for that one. Extended services. This is a program for the kiddos that spend the vast majority of their time in school, but they still have a need, usually potentially a behavioral plan goal, but a lot of social skills and possibly catching up on some academic things. So these are kiddos that are all school age. They go to school all day, and they come by and they see us. And some are there every day after school. Some are only there a couple days. We try to, another way for us to jumpstart them and make sure that they're meeting their goals and can stay in a less restricted environment. Our Sprouts program is in 2 of our buildings. It's in our BACA 1 and our BACA Z facility, and it's being piloted at our BACA Heart facility this summer. And this is a preschool program in which we run full-day preschool 3 days a week on site. We have a preschool teacher in there who was a behavior tech for us originally, and before that she was a preschool teacher. And we run preschool. And then we push in up to 6 of our BACA kids into that preschool program. So it's a way for us to still have a lot of control over the curriculum, the prompting, the reinforcement systems, and we can really find out what skills do they not have before we let them go in the natural environment. So it's a really good stepping stone for a lot of our kiddos before they go into a daycare, kindergarten, or preschool setting. Summer social skills, similar to the extended services program. This is the group of kids that are in school all year, and then summer comes and the families go, we don't know what to do with them. And they still have some needs, and they might not fit into some of the typical summer camps that are available. So this is an opportunity for us to give them some intensive services, and again, make sure that the work that was done all the school year long maintains, and they can start off next school year on the right foot. Natural environment training is available to all of our BACA families. It is a senior behavior tech that is in a parent training coordinator position, and they go into the home. Usually the families are looking for some sort of behavioral support, but we have goals of them being able to engage in appropriate independent play skills with siblings, generalize the skills they can do at the center as well as at home, a lot of community situations, so being able to go to the shoe store and get new shoes, go to grocery shopping with mom, dinner with a family, those kind of things to make sure that we are providing those services as well. This is a clip of Dr. Pat McGreevy and Dr. Peter Gearhart, probably from that same trip when we were all together, just talking a little bit about our mission of teaching children how to learn.
They're the foundation of what we do on a day-to-day basis.
So what we do here at BACA, depending on the child, is look at skills that our kids will need to live as close to an independent life as possible. BACA has a variety of skills and teaching environments that we're working through. We have our individual environment where you work in class with a staff member, and then working on small group responding as well. So working with the other 4 or 5 clients in your room with you, and then working on raising your hand, being able to respond to instructions, follow direction, wait your turn, which is a big deal for a lot of our kids. So that's something we're really focusing on, because the reality is, as these kids get older, they're not going to have that one-on-one staffing. We want to make sure that we can make that transition happen for them, and that they're successful in that environment. We've got lots of expertise from around the country. That's how some of us here on a daily basis. So just come in and help the clients. Flowers here. We have Dr. McGreevy come in at least once a month. Some days working on more of the aggressive behavior and life skills that our kids need as well.
My name is Pat McGreevy, and I'm a behavior analyst. I've been working in the field for about 42 years.
Right with me? You will.
It's important to teach what people commonly refer to as life skills with older children and young adults, because if you don't prepare them or you don't teach them these particular skills, they may just not occur.
Dr. Peter Gearhart also comes in. He's more working on job skills and community skills and working on some of those things.
Well, I think every job skills have a lot of real job. Peter Gearhart, I have a doctorate from Marketing University of Education. Working in the field of behavior analysis. behavior analysis works at all. So like it's not some mystical, made up theory. It's how we learn. It's study of how people acquire skills in what's different environments. There's no age limit to learning.
Well, Pat and Carl and Peter working together is the most magnificent tool because you get so much from each source because they all experience so many different things.
There's such a different atmosphere.
Yeah, it's
It is, and it's very different with Carl.
I'm actually very happy and proud to be associated with BACA. As a professional in our field, the one prize or priority that you have is your reputation. So I'm very careful with what I pick places that I want to talk to. I want to work with smart people. I want to work with good people. I want to work with talented people. I want to work with issues. BACA meets all of those criteria for me. So I come into a very collegial atmosphere that wants to help these kids have a little life. For me, that's a win-win situation.
Obviously, if you're interested in a career with BACA, we would love to build our team, and we kind of call it BACA U because we're always learning there and give you access to a lot of the professionals. But as I said, if BACA is not for you, as you continue to go out into the field and look for things, make sure you know what's available out there so you can find niches that are interesting to you, that you want to learn more about, that you have something to give, and make sure that you have access to mentors and you have access to leaders in the field so you can continue to grow as a professional and you can become more well-rounded. And if you want to email us or call us or tour or visit us, please feel free to do so. And I just want to make sure I have an opportunity. If there's anyone who has some questions before we shut down, that I answer any of those for anyone who is from afar.
If there's questions, feel free to let me know. I can unmute you or go ahead and use the chat box.
My favorite topic.
I have a question. It sounds like you could provide a lot of professional development with a career path. Anything about that kind of training? It looks like the videos are engaged and opportunities to interact with the experts, but what are some of the training?
Yeah. So we do have an initial 2-week training period for all of our new behavior techs that come in. And that is provided mainly by the training specialists on the team that they're going to go on, but could be anywhere, any of the professionals in the building. At which point we have a level system for our behavior techs of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's different criteria and different skills that they need to exhibit to continue to move up to the level system. As they go to the level system, they have access to more money. And they also become more eligible for additional promotional opportunities as they're posted. So that system then gets you into some more of the promotional positions. Once you move into some of the senior positions, some of our BCBAs, we frequent a handful of the conferences around the country. Master Series, Penn State, Cal ABA, FABA, BAM, ABA, HABA. So those we make sure that we have access to. We kind of rotate who goes where, and some of that depends on the speakers and the emphasis that those particular BCBAs have. So we rotate through some of those situations. So we will have, for instance, 16 people at ABAI. We'll have a booth there. APBA, we were there this year. We had a booth there. So we try to make sure that we're available to others to make sure that we promote the field of behavior analysis as well as promote BACA.
If folks come out of one of our programs, either at the master's level or the ECW specialization, is there a particular level when you talked about, maybe we need to go back to when you showed kind of the career pathing, is there a particular level that people typically come in and prepare for their certification?
Yes. Our behavior tech level, which is our entry-level position, those are your bachelor level folks. They must have a 4-year degree to be running through. As you move up the chain, if I would go to the first slide. There we go. Our training specialists and our training specialists are not required to have a BCBA. So that might be someone who might still be in school, and that they're frequently someone who's been an employee with us for a while, or might have completed their coursework and haven't sat for the exam, or something along those levels. Our team supervisor positions are required to have a BCBA, and then as you go up the chain, they would all have their BCBAs. Our senior behavior analyst folks are our PhD folks or BCBA folks that have had 30-plus years in the field.
So primarily, if students who had graduated who had sat for the exam or about to sit for the exam, they would be applying for like a team supervisor position.
And that team supervisor position, that same level, does work in. We've got those positions in all 4 buildings, so all 4 locations. We also have team supervisor positions in extended services. So if they're interested in kind of that school-aged group, and that there's BCBA positions there. If they're interested in intensive clinic, the BACA Atlas program, we have BCBAs in that position. I'm forgetting a program. So there are multiple positions, and that is one of the nice things that we've had is people who work in one building or with one group of kiddos or one specialty for a while, and they want to change. And we've been able to facilitate that and keep them within the company. And give them an opportunity to do something different. So they worked with the little guys for a few years, and now they want to try the older guys. Or they've done a lot of insurance reports. They're a team supervisor position. They want to go work in the clinic. They can do that.
Great.
Come on over. Well, if you're ever in town, we do obviously have our PowerPoint of Miami, Louisiana, because that's sometimes a tough sell for us. But it's a great little city. I've worked on the East Coast and the West Coast. So I've worked at the May on the East Coast, and I've worked at STARS and Behavior Analyst on the West Coast outside of San Francisco. And so we're in the middle. So I can be a resource to people of you can come from coast to coast.
You can do it.
You can do it. You can do it. I've been there for almost 8 years now. So it's a good place.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
No, it's true. I mean, it's for such a long time, all the services were consolidated on the 2 coasts. I know when I first graduated, I moved out to Connecticut to work, and it's so nice that the rest of the country is getting a little bit more than
Yeah, when I lived in California, I worked with Mark Sundberg for about 11 years, and we were going to